Outer space is full of mysteries, and since the beginning of time, humans have tried to decipher them. Unfortunately, exploring its secrets has not been an easy task. Despite technological advances, we still know very little about its peculiarities, and few have had the opportunity to explore what lies beyond the Earth's atmosphere. However, the stories of these people seem to be anything but encouraging. Their experiences border on the chilling, and although their testimonies have been overshadowed and concealed by the media, the stories of their adventures survive. Would you like to know any of them? Then join us in this opportunity and get ready to discover with us the experiences of 4 astronauts who found the most terrifying creatures they had ever seen in space. Number 4. The Strange Story of Neil Armstrong. Few people who have been in space are as famous as Neil Armstrong. Considered the first man to set foot on the moon, this astronaut is part of the legend of the United States space program. Throughout his life, he has given numerous interviews and contributed significantly to the image we have of space. However, there is a story that few know about this man. In July 1969, when the Apollo 11 mission landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong and his partner Edwin Aldrin encountered a very different image from the one that we saw on Earth. It was a series of strange craft positioned on the edge of the moon that appeared to be monitoring the movements of the mission. In fact, Maurice Chatelain, a former NASA Communications Systems chief, would confirm in 1979, 10 years later, that the recordings of that event were in the hands of the entire team. Other members of the mission throughout their lives have stated similar anecdotes. They all agree that they received a strange message from the astronauts. What exactly did this transmission say? Some sources claim that the words described a series of spacecraft located at the edge of the lunar crater. Others suggest that it signaled the presence of UFOs observing the area on a regular basis. Of course, NASA has categorically denied these theories, as have the astronauts involved, despite various records and statements from the Apollo 11 crew. Number 3. Light in the darkness. Before the Apollo 11 mission reached space, there were other attempts to leave Earth's orbit that were very successful. Among them, the story of astronaut John Glenn stands out, a name that holds all the prestige of NASA's space program. He is considered to be the first man to orbit the Earth aboard the Friendship 7 mission, and his long career earned him the NASA Distinguished Service Medal and a place in the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame. His resume seems impeccable, but there was a moment in which he starred in a very particular story. It happened in 1962, just as the Friendship 7 capsule lifted off and became the first to orbit the Earth. Its goal was to circle the planet 3 times, but on the last one, something mysterious happened. Glenn communicated with the space station and he sounded frightened and amazed. Fireflies. That was the first word the ground crew received. Apparently, Glenn was dazzled by an infinity of particles that glowed like stars and floated outside his capsule. The recordings of this mission provide detailed information. Glenn was able to describe them very accurately. The small lights or fireflies floated a short distance from his craft and advanced at his speed through space as if they had the ability to follow him. Few statements were made regarding this strange event, but Glenn wouldn't be the only one to record a similar occurrence. Scott Carpenter, another astronaut in the program, would report the same phenomenon on another mission that took place a few months later. No one knows exactly what these strange particles are, nor if they really exist. But the event survived the test of time, and many still wonder what these astronauts actually saw on their missions. Number 2. Is that a... In the late 1960s, the world experienced great excitement with everything related to space. Getting to the moon was no small feat, but gradually people forgot about looking at the stars, although space programs did not. In 1987, the Salyut 7 spacecraft was on day 155 of its space mission. Everything was going smoothly, but a sudden transmission from cosmonauts Oleg Atkov, Vladimir Solyov, and Leonid Kizim set off alarm bells in the Soviet program. According to the message, the team claimed to have been surrounded by a strange, blinding orange light for approximately 15 seconds. For an instant, the men felt as if the world had disappeared. But when they managed to peer through the glass of the capsule they were in, the image wasn't a pleasant one. A short distance away from them, in the seemingly empty space, a group of 5 winged humanoids about 90 feet tall, with calm and expressionless faces and covered in a strange all-black metallic cloth, watched them without getting too close. The men's voices seemed to be on the verge of panic, and they completed the story by adding other characteristics to these humanoid beings, such as the ability to emanate an ethereal light that seemed to have the capacity to lull them to sleep. The operations headquarters tried to calm the astronauts down, but there was no way to get them out of their story. For 10 long minutes, the unknown creatures followed the position of the spacecraft until they disappeared at the speed of light in front of the astronauts' eyes. As you can imagine, the mission returned to Earth, and that incident was cataloged as a hallucination generated by remaining so many days in orbit. However, months later, a new mission aboard Salyut 7 was sent into orbit. This time with cosmonauts Svetlana Savitskaya, Igor Volk, and Vladimir Zadnivikov. Everything was in perfect order until the winged humanoids returned on day 167. The 3 new crew members described these strange beings with the same details, the same color, the same faces, and that strange reassuring light. How is it possible that 2 different missions witnessed the same event without even communicating in advance? There's no logical explanation. It did happen, at least that's what both crews claimed, although no one seemed interested in digging much deeper. Number 1. The failed attempts. If you ever meet an astronaut, ask them what is the most unexpected thing they have encountered in a space mission, and they will tell you one and only one thing: animal carcasses. How is that possible? As strange as it may seem to you, a large number of animal carcasses orbit around our planet, although in space programs they are known as the first astronauts sent out of the Earth. Many of these missions, if not almost all of them, were an absolute failure that forced the terrestrial teams to abandon the animals to their fate. Most of them lost their lives in space, and their bodies were left in the middle of the emptiness of our galaxy. So, when astronauts begin their journeys, most of the time they have the infinity of space. But just at the edges of this precious image, there are the corpses of those animals that helped humanity so much. Although these interesting anecdotes seem to offer another image of space, they are only the beginning of a great number of strange events. The universe is an undeciphered mystery, and if you check out the following videos, you too will discover a little more about those inexplicable secrets that nobody talks about, but that are still there, right in front of us all. Would you like to know them? Then here are the videos.